some wild onions. Believe it or not, in winter, you can find wild edibles. I'm going to take some of these. I brought some food with me, but I didn't bring any onions, so I'll cook this. I have some sausage in the pack, so I'll take some of this along as a garnish. Alright. It's not quite as fat as it would be in the spring, but one of those beggars can't be choosers type thing. I'll take whatever's offered up, I guess. Okay, a little more. All right. The reason why I'm huffing, I have this pack on the back of me, and I'm bending over. Plus, I'm fat. Picking up these wild scallions. All right, let me keep going. And that is why it's called red cedar or juniper. Smells like cedar as well. All right, go for this fluffy bark. Actually, I think maybe had a lot of rain. I mean, a lot of rain. Bet you this stuff could really use a little drying out. This is pretty good. Tree there, flat ground. Well, I wouldn't call it flat, but reasonably flat. There's a widowmaker, but it fell right over there. And woohoo! We want nothing to do with that, but it's not close to us. Those piles of sticks are probably, that's past flooding, but we're higher than that. Snow's melted. I don't know the weather forecast. I really should check that, but I'm not sure. I don't think it could be anything bad. Maybe 25 tonight. Feels about 39 right now. The ice isn't melting. A little melt. But all the snow basically has. It's a little bit. Alright, I don't see any nasty trees. Looks like we're going to have one of the hardest fire starting challenges I've ever done. I don't even know how I'm going to pull this one off. My God, that was tough. That was touch and go. You know, that's the ultimate Firecraft. It doesn't get any more bushcrafty than that. Let me show you this. This is a very, very, very large stove inside a tarp by the river. So this is this ain't your typical stove I bring. Let me get this going, then I will Alright, here's what I got going. I've got that, go over here for a second. Just cooking a little food, boiling some water. A rather large stove under tarp. This is the sausage with wild scallions. I'm also drying some of that cedar. I pulled that cedar bark, fluffed it up a bit. I'm going to dry it out near the stove. And I'm going to do a fire. Maybe we'll char some cloth, go to the river, which is out there, break up some rocks, take my neck knife, toss some sparks, and make a little fire if we're lucky. So, but I want to dry the tinder bundle, the natural cedar that I messed with earlier. Here's the crazy big stove. So that'll be tomorrow's fire challenge. Neck knife, cedar, and we'll char up a bandana maybe. I could char some punk wood or whatever natural stuff I find, but I got an extra bandana, so maybe I'll use that. Or natural, I don't know, I'll decide yet. Rest of my stuff. The sleeping bag, I haven't set up the pad yet. The only downside, there's a breeze going through here. That's the only downside, but I set this thing up. It's going, barring Hurricane Sandy, it's going no place. Just a little trick learned over the years, tarp camping. I'm flying A-frame, it's a little cold, wind's blowing into this pack. So, I just set that up as a little windbreak for half my body. My head will be below it. See, I mean, it's not exactly Mount Everest, but hey, you know, just a little bit of extra benefit. Stove's going good. Too bad about the wind, though. It's kind of sucking the heat away from here, but this wasn't really meant to heat. If I did, I would have lowered the shelter. I'd have lowered this right to the ground. So it's really just more of a cooking and hand warming setup, and also to dry some of my stuff. But all right, so I guess I'll pack it in for the night for a little windbreak. Just a fast overview of my camp. This thing is tied down 10 ways of Sunday. The wind was pretty fierce last night, so ginormous wood stove for under a tarp. Whole pile of tie downs, keep the whole thing stable. Kind of a crazy shelter. I like to boil my pots clean. River sand will work good too, but first a little drop of soap and just let it boil away until it sterilizes, gets all the grease out, pulls all the nasty, I mean, it won't be shiny, but it'll be good for the next day. Alright, it's about time to head down to that river. And here's stage 2, cleaning your pots in the field without any scrub pads or anything like that. I've already cleaned this basically by boiling it clean. So it's really not dumping garbage in the river. This is just a little bit of, actually I'm not even going to throw this in the river. This is a little bit of burnt on carbonized material. Using basically this sand. What I'll do is I'll fling the sand in the woods and then use the river to clean the sand, river water. I can also fling the river water in the woods and totally avoid, people have this big thing about cleaning dishes in rivers and stuff like that. I understand where they're coming from with it, but this is not really the same thing. Since all the grease and food has been boiled off in stage 1, so what I'll do, okay, that's pretty good. I can also use a leaf. Here are my pots, all cleaned up. I'm gonna use them again tonight. Although they were cleaned by the river, they weren't actually cleaned in the river. And I used basically fire to heat up the water, to boil off any grease, boil off any food particles, which is then thrown to the 4 winds, widely distributed as possible. There's no gray water place here to do anything with that, so I just simply dispersed it. Then I use sand to remove the carbonated parts, which is nothing. It's not even garbage, just little carbonated parts. It's blowing the sand in the woods, and then use the water to remove the sand, which then also is flung in the woods. No scouring pads, nothing like that. All right, I think it's time for me to head down there and look for some rocks for the flint and steel fire leader. Okay, here's some of the tools I used for this trip. That Wolf Creek Forge striker knife, set up as a necker with a little safety latch slider. I believe this is a Swiss Army knife trekker. They make a one-handed trekker, but this is the regular one. More stainless steel clipper and the saw viver. And that's it. Okay, I'm heading out. Hiking poles, headlamps going. I had to leave a day early. I wanted to stay for another day, but have responsibilities, so I guess that is that. So rather than sleeping, I have a short night hike. All right, well, thanks a lot for coming along, and happy trails.